Hey there, YouTubers. So, we got the i9 13900KF here, about to do some benchmarks for you all. And appreciate those viewers that have, suggested certain things. I think in some ways these benchmarks have gotten better. But what are we working with today? So, I told you the i9 13900KF, and why am I using Intel Extreme Utility? Well, at least you will see a little bit more information about what we're doing than you will see in some of the benchmark software. So there is my new favorite CPU, right? Sadly, this just went on sale on Amazon not long ago for $30 less to get the 13900K, which is a bummer. My RAM, whatever reason, we're only running at 4800. I guess I did not enable XMP. We do have the most up-to-date BIOS, at least as of last weekend. This is on my favorite motherboard, the Gigabyte Aorus Z690 Elite AX. And we are using Windows 11, though it does not really seem to matter. Windows 10 seems superior in a lot of ways. Got an RTX 3060 EVGA. And folks, like I said, we have XTU open. So we're going to do some different benchmarks. I think this computer has Benchmate. Shout out to the viewer that suggested that I use that. I had it, but for whatever dumb reason, I didn't install it on all of my computers. So you'll see more of that in the future. We are going to run hardware info after this first one. So let's go ahead. This should be a new, basically a new record for XTU for me. I would expect will be somewhere over 11,000, 12,000 points. But thermal throttling, folks. Wow. Interesting how that works out. Wow, 13,000. Holy cow. But we thermal throttled. And then for this CPU to not be overclocked, unless it is overclocked and I just don't realize it. You know what? It might be overclocked. Oh no. So, we're off to a bad start. What I didn't show you guys was this, right? This was my optimal settings with the i5 13600K. It did not like these settings, which also means, nope, the core voltage is back to its default. All right, so there's your default settings, all right? So yours truly screwed up this video. We want 54 here for everything. Oops. All right, so let me apply that. We're going to do this again, but that was a ridiculously high score. Now over here, folks, this is higher than it should be too, I bet. 42, 43. Okay, yeah. Whoops. Double whoops. All right, so we're basically back to default. I apologize for that. Now these are VCore and undervolt. They're at default. Power limits, PL1, PL2 set to unlimited. Oh, I didn't talk about the CPU cooler on here, folks. This is there's a partial installation video out there that you can see of this, but of course yours truly, being the screw up he is in the video, forgets to plug in the 4-pin for the CPU cooler. But regardless, it is a Arctic Liquid Freezer 2 280 AIO, so 280 millimeter dual, 140 millimeter fans on that radiator. And you can see not keeping as cool as the i5, right? That was in the low 20s, and this one's in the 31 range for its lowest temps. All right, we're going to run this benchmark one more time. You saw that tremendous score with the overclocks and unfortunately thermal throttling. And so, yeah, we're not going to get anywhere near that this time. It would appear 85 and 12,641. So that easily beats the other CPUs that we ran here. All right, nobody really cares about XTU though, right? Is that what you guys want to tell me? Okay, fine. Let us do this Cinebench, and I think I'll throw in the ones off of Benchmate too. But from here on, we'll look at hardware info. Highest score that I've had on here was with the i7 13700K. You see 11,275. The i9 12900 and the i5 13600KF, the i7 12700F that we actually we sold that. We sold that. So we have this one, and we have this i9. I sold that too. Sold that. Gosh, I don't have too many of these CPUs left, but you can just see how much ridiculously more powerful these other CPUs are. All right, folks. Let's go ahead and run this. It's had long enough to cool off. And what we want to do is reset this first. All right, so hit run. And then bringing this up so you guys can see it. See what the temps get to. Hopefully none of this will turn red. CPU cooler starting to crank. So at the end of this, I'll scroll down. It should hit like 2,000 some RPMs, and boom, new highest score for me in release 20. You see it is considerably higher than the i7 13700K. Not quite as awesome as that Intel Xeon Platinum. Now over here, temps 94. So there is the potential, folks, that this will thermal throttle while using Cinebench R23. And let's scroll down. I'll give you guys a second to look at this. So you can see the VRM sensor there. Now the CPU fan speed was only up to 1700. That's interesting. I could have sworn in other videos was 2000. But I'm getting it mixed up. So the Ice Giant Pro Siphon was getting up to 2000 RPM, which, folks, tells me if those were 140 millimeter fans, I would probably swap them out just so we could get a little more out of that, a little more cooling. All right, folks. So you've seen this. Let's go ahead and clear this. I hope you've had enough time to review the information. We will kill R20. And yeah, if you're watching this and I forget to put the scores down below, which I do quite often, just, kindly remind me. It helps everybody else out because not everybody wants to sit through and listen to me. All right, so we'll hit this. So there's the i7 13700K. Sometimes I would get over 30 overclocking, and I got to almost 32,000 if I remember correctly. And you can see the other CPUs that we ran. Now this is going to be closer to 40,000. All right, let's hit that, and hope the temps don't get to 100 and thermal throttle. Oh, so this is the minimum test duration version. I got tired of the 10-minute one. If you want the 10-minute version, let me know. I'll be glad to run it for you. You'll probably be the only one watching it, but I will provide that. So you see that score, folks. Not 40,000. That's not ideal on this motherboard, right? Maybe they've down-tuned it a little to keep the temps down. We could adjust some things potentially to get that higher. And obviously I can overclock this thing, right? That's the other option, and we will get a ridiculously high score. But I'll do that in a different video as I tinker with this thing. Fan speed once again hit 1700. That is that's R23. Now some people might want one of the older ones. So let's pull up Benchmate. And I will have some video games. I've got a ton of video games, but I seem to play only the same ones. I don't know the difference between R15 and R15 Extreme. We'll just do this one, and then we'll do 11.5. All right, so 15. I'm gonna bring this over. Hopefully, you're not gonna get a whole lot of chance to. Wow, that was so fast. It didn't even get that hot, so you can see why they changed up these benchmarks. People didn't even get to really stress the CPU. All right, 11.5, 64-bit. Sorry, I'm going to reset this real quick. Hit run. And low 90s, and it's done, right? So it easily beat the 13600K KF quite a bit there. Thanks for checking out the video, folks. And hopefully I have some links down below if you want to check out other videos. We will try some other motherboards out. I've only got, I don't know, 6, 7 Z690s. I'm going to buy a Z790. Probably, I want to get this Elite AX Z790 version. I want to get the Gigabyte UD Z790. So maybe we'll run this again in those. And you will see some things different, right? It appears, you know, if you go into Intel's XTU, where you can do some of the stuff in the BIOS, but just making certain adjustments in here will increase what we've got going on. Now I also will do a overclock video. I'll probably just check out Tom's hardware settings like I previously have. And then I may honestly try and bump that up another, you know, at least another 1x on the multipliers. Thanks for checking out the video. Please like, please subscribe. Thank you.